I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite
podcast
on the Citadel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Accidentally Casual, a podcast where our pre-talk takes about an hour as we just ramble off into conversations about whatever. My name is Tucker, and with me is Scott from BioWare Babbling.
What's up, nerds?
And Seeker from...
Howdy.
I still don't know what to, say you're from.
Just say,
Seeker.
just find me on Twitter.
Yeah, she's on Twitter.
Yeah, Seeker from Seeker.
Yeah.
I be seeking.
And then again, I'm Tucker from Talking About Games. And talking about games, there is a big one that is coming out this week. And that is the perfect time then to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2. Because I finally finished that game, and I cried a little bit at the end.
Most people do.
That was a sad game. Like, my horse got shot, and his name was Horseshack. Because it was, it was a white horse with a bunch of black polka dots and stuff all over it.
Spoilers for Red Dead 2 in case anyone in the audience has not played it
Spoilers!
yet.
Yeah.
Spoilers!
So, but it's like that, my horse got shot. It was, Horseshack! No, you got shot, and then the whole thing with John. First off, so why do they even give you the option to go back for the money? Who picks that option?
The people who want to do a low honor run do that option, and I don't engage with it because for me, my perception of who Arthur Morgan is as a person is very influenced by his high honor persona, and I have no interest in seeing his low honor persona. So thank you very much.
It's just so
no, thank you.
How could you not help John?
Yep.
It's also the consequences decision you have to make, because it's not just, oh, how could you not help John? It is you have to be a bastard to every other person in the game to get the low honor, enough to just be like, nah, fuck these people. I'm out for myself and that's it. It's like, no, it's Red Dead Redemption, not Red Dead be a dick.
And I like how John gets the house and he gets married and all that, and I'm like, cool, I'm not going to play the first game. I like to imagine that John gets to live out this happy life, and there are zero issues that stem from this.
And he passes away happily, surrounded by his family, warm in his bed at the ripe old age of 70 odd or something.
And Jack becomes that lawyer or whatnot. Absolutely does not become a gunslinger over his mother's dead body.
He would totally become a writer.
Yes. So
yeah.
That's my headcanon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do too. I'm just like, the Red Dead 1 doesn't exist. What are you talking about? This is a perfectly lovely happy ending for everyone involved.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is such a good game that it is its own sequel. It has its own 2. It's that good of a game. There's no Red Dead 1.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is. And that is 2 is a great game. I've heard.
Yeah.
I haven't played that one, but...
You haven't played Red Dead 1?
No, not at all.
You mean Red Dead Redemption 1?
Yeah.
Because there's a Red
Dead
Dead.
Revolver.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I haven't played Red Dead Redemption 1, which is part of why I didn't play the story of Red Dead 2. I played the multiplayer of it, and I played the multiplayer of Red Dead 2, and that was fun.
There's so many little touches that you won't know what they're referencing.
Oh, I mean,
by any chance, did you I think it's up by, did you ever find that guy who's collapsed next to a lake and there's some birds around him and you're like, oh, that guy looks dead, I guess I'll go check if there's anything in his pockets, and he sort of flares to life for a second and says, tell Bonnie I'm sorry, and hands you a letter?
No, but go on.
Okay, well, that happens. It's pretty succinct what happens, but you can read a letter from this guy to Bonnie, and Bonnie is a character in RDR1 who is very lovely, and she sort of has a kind of crush on John Marston, But she says that, oh, her fiance went to go find his fortune years ago and never came back. And it's just that he did try and get back to her. He just died. I'm sorry. And she never finds out.
Oh, I absolutely know that there are little things like that. But after I finished the story, I looked up on YouTube like what happened to all the characters afterwards and all that stuff. And I do know a bit of the story of Red Dead. Pretty much everyone's dead. But yeah, but it's like I played through the Red Dead 2. It's like I know the story of Red Dead 1, or at least have the general gist of it. It's like I maybe don't have the time to replay that. There's a rumor of a remaster of Red Dead 1 coming out.
It's pretty suspicious.
Because how Red Dead 2...
all the things they happened to make when they were making Red Dead 2, they just happened to perfectly recreate the map from RDR1 and just sort of hide it away.
Minus Mexico.
Slightly. So it's just that thing of you can get to it if you cajole the game a little bit, but it's
mad
the thing
sus.
that
maybe GTA 6 pre-order with it will be a Red Dead Redemption 1 remaster.
or God forbid Bully 2. Remember that franchise, Rockstar? Remember it?
Man, how just what do you think that would be? GTA 6 comes with a Bully remaster.
No way in hell that's happening.
No, because they make too much money off shark cards, so they have no incentive to actually make new games anymore.
Yeah.
Sadly.
But speaking of remasters, there is one that is also coming out this week.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not like we
I might have heard
catfished
of something
anybody
like this.
for a few minutes
Yes.
or something. No, not at all.
Yeah, so the Mass Effect Legendary Edition's coming out, and I'm doing a little bit of a giveaway,
Yeah.
for it,
Ow.
which I've been enjoying. There's a link for that in the
I
description.
felt awful because I very nearly, I thought, oh, a giveaway, I could apply for that. And I was like, no, that's probably not the best thing to do considering I've already ordered the damn thing.
Yeah.
I really like
so I was like, no, I'll let someone else,
really like the
someone more
giveaway
deserving
website.
than I have it.
I really like the giveaway website. The way it's set up is actually like pretty easy.
Yeah. No, I have a...
Figuring it out.
I was about to say all the giveaways I've been a part of over the years, or that I've applied to, quote unquote. I'll use, I think it's Gleam is the website.
Yeah, Gleam.
Honestly, they're a great website for that type of stuff. So, is that going to be down in the description below, my friend?
Yes. And another little bit of fun news that I kind of learned last night about the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So, and this again is just great because it's Xbox. Sony and PC, the game launches midnight local time for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox, apparently you can set your location to New Zealand, and that will unlock it early. Yeah.
Okay. Considering I'm usually in the position where I'm just like, sleep is good. Sleep is wondrous, and the time I can spend sleeping is wonderful. Especially as I usually have to be up at about 1 o'clock in the morning, as I am now, to record these podcasts. So I treasure my sleep. So yeah, I can leave Mass Effect until morning at least, because my kid's going to be in school, so at least I have a few hours to enjoy it.
My plan
With
is
peace and
to
quiet.
once I get access to it and sit down, I'm going to, once I start it, stream and go as long as I can, do a marathon stream and just see how far I can go. I have a little thing on Saturday. I have a baby shower, Zoom call thing with one of my friends that takes precedent, so I would dip out with that, but then go back to the stream. But I want to see if I can beat Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 in this entire thing, which is just tried to do it before Sunday, maybe? I don't know. I just want to see how long I can do it, and I think it'll be kind of fun.
Yeah, my plan, I actually requested Friday and Saturday off I didn't get Friday because we're super short-staffed, which, hey, America, maybe if you paid your employees better, maybe so many of them wouldn't go on unemployment.
Can't suggest that. That leads to communism.
There are actually some strikes
that
going on,
is-
but
Oh, yeah. Gee, I wonder why. Anyway, but I got Saturday off, so my plan is I'm getting off work. I'm not going to play any D&D for 2 days, and I'm just going to play the shit out of Mass Effect. That's my plan.
Ooh. So so go by like ME1, ME2, and ME3. What's the thing that you're most looking forward to being part of in the remaster?
well, with Mass Effect 1, I'm just most excited to see how it's just the changes,
Yeah, that's
Of-
same.
what it's going to look like.
It's what specific changes, Tucker?
Yeah,
Jesus
good.
Christ. Just, I want to
Okay,
see the
I
changes.
can-
We all want to see the fucking changes. Jesus
okay,
Christ,
so
play the game.
I have some ideas.
Something that they haven't talked about, something that they haven't shown, but something that it is honestly been on the back of my mind for a very long time. I can't wait to see what the Keepers look like.
Ooh.
In
Yeah, they've been conspicuously kind of not mentioned, so yeah, sure, by all means. If I swear to Christ, if there isn't some sort of like tagging thing where you can see on the map which keepers you have and haven't scanned yet, I will scream, because that's the worst fucking side quest.
Oh, yeah.
And I always had to have a guide just to be like, which one haven't I got yet?
Oh yeah. Oh, that is a brutal side quest.
Yeah.
Did y'all see the achievement list?
I haven't yet, no.
I had a glance at it and it looked roughly the same, so I didn't really engage too much with it.
It is kind of the same, but one of the bigger changes is that Mass Effect 1 had the achievements to beat the majority of the game with X Squadmate. They have changed it now to beat 5 missions with X Squadmate.
Oh, that's nice.
And you can also...
Because that means you could, in theory, do it in like one playthrough.
Yeah,
and get
or
all
it
of-
doesn't...
all of
Or
them.
or
Okay.
maybe 2, depending on like how you're doing it with it. But there's that, as
Yeah.
well as things like Incinerate and Throw and Pull and all that stuff
Yeah.
can
They
be
were in the first
counted with your squad mate doing it. It doesn't have to be you.
Oh, thank God.
Nice.
So that is a help with a bunch of those achievements. And it's like, ooh.
Yes. Thank you for your kindness, BioWare. We appreciate it. Now give me Dragon Age.
Jesus.
But we've got Mass Effect now. Now Dragon Age. Dragon Age, where is
Yeah.
it?
I think the big thing I'm looking forward to is when I played Mass Effect 1 and the multiple playthroughs I've done afterwards, I've always really enjoyed the story, but because of how aged the game was, it did hold like the jankiness, the gun, the gameplay mechanics and things like that always held it back a little bit. And what I'm really excited for is all of these small quality of life stuff. Like I remember on Novaria, there is a wall in the original game that makes it impossible for you to actually go across to like get to the other side of the room. And it was for like rendering reasons why they put that in there. But now that they don't have that issue, they just removed it. And that's what I'm excited for, are small things like that just...
I'm going to be delighted to wield a sniper rifle and not feel like my shepherd spontaneously became drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, just like, point the thing fucking straight, Shepard! Oh my God, what training did you receive?
Yeah, which, like...
And
like, as an American, like, I understand, like, that little bit of sway. That is normal.
I have been to a firing range. This may surprise you. I do understand what it's like to fire a rifle and some handguns. However,
Yeah, but not
oh
from,
my
like...
fucking God, just point it straight.
Yeah, but, like, the...
And also, it's a space gun. I don't need it to be 1000% realistic, and this is so, overcompensating for it. But yeah, apparently they fixed that, so that's great.
part of it that's bullshit, in my opinion, is the fact that you're a sniper rifle, the furthest combat ranges you ever get is like 50 meters away. Which is just,
I might as well just use the fucking...
Yeah, like, that's such
anything
close range,
else.
and yet it's fucking... The sway in it is so bloody ridiculous. It's like, no, just...
Well, it depends on which class you're using, too.
Well, yeah,
like,
that's
I don't
fair.
ever remember having...
Well,
I only
marginally,
played as
or
soldier.
when you start off.
Yeah.
And
When was the last time you played an entirely fresh playthrough of ME1, Tucker?
No, probably the first
Because
time I played
presumably
it.
you've been doing, because presumably you've been doing New Game Plus for years.
Oh,
on end,
absolutely.
Ever since
There's
you played
no
it.
other reason not to.
Exactly. Which is the only thing that makes ME1 in its vanilla state fucking playable, because it's just like, oh, now I can actually point my guns in a reasonable fashion.
Oh, yeah.
I am interested by the fact that no one has yet mentioned the MAKO. And the reported
The Mako?
improvements.
Well, yeah. Well,
in that.
that's
Yes.
what I was kind of talking about, like, the quality of life stuff, was, like, the
Mm-hmm.
Mako hopefully doesn't handle like a fucking drunk rhino.
Except you can turn that on in the options menu.
Okay, that's gonna be fun.
Because of
There
course.
is a unique option that you can turn on the old Mako's, like, driving thing, setup or something like that.
Oh, okay. I'm excited for that.
I would
'Cause that's...
tremendously appreciate if they didn't introduce Matriarch Benezia boobs and butt first. If they could just adjust that a little bit, I would appreciate it muchly. Because go back and watch that scene. You see her butt first, and then it starts on her boobs, and then she does a little cough, and then the camera moves up.
Well, I mean,
It's
isn't that kind of like
really jarring.
Well, they did the exact same thing with Miranda, where it's just like...
Well, here's the thing with Miranda. They were clearly making a point of it, whereas ME1 is now so old that they couldn't quite
Well,
have the graphical fidelity
Yeah.
to render her boobs and butt in such a degree that they were trying to make it appealing, so they just had to kind of shove
Fox
the camera
News
at it.
to call it pornography.
Yeah, or sex boxes Fox News had a ball with, because
was-
there's X's, and oh my god, you can have, like, you know, a loving relationship with a woman or a man, and it's, you know, well, no, you can't have it with a man if you're a man in
or an alien
in
man.
ME1.
Yeah. Well,
No, not in ME1 you can't.
well, what I was saying was, though, they changed the scenes with Miranda. Like, the scene where she's, like, talking about her sister and
Thank
stuff.
God, yeah.
And it was like, the camera was so far up Miranda's ass that I could have done a colonoscopy. Like, they've...
And also, it's like when she's talking about, like, her sister and she's worried about her, it's like, I would be so much more invested in what you were saying if I wasn't being forced to stare at your butt.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Little
I would not be
Yvonne Strahovski's acting a little heart out, and it's very, very sweet, and instead we're focused entirely on her butt.
Yeah.
And as soon as they said that, my God, didn't the shitty fanboys just shit the bed and just generally be
So,
like, oh, they're
yeah, we
stripping
actually...
sex out of Mass Effect.
Oh, well, I don't know if you know about the Seeker. We actually had, we actually had a thumbnail removed because we showed a picture of Miranda's butt, and it got taken
much.
out
It
by...
got flagged.
Yeah,
It got flagged, yeah.
just spaced
What
out at
are
the
we
time,
as a species?
so-
This is why we haven't had any Vulcans or any or any of the council races have visited. This is why this hasn't happened, because we're so fixated on I give up with humanity. I swear to Christ.
Yeah, no, I would not be surprised if they also change the scenes with Benezia. So then they're like, okay, let's make this let's try to show off that she is actually a matriarch instead of just boob, tits. Oh, by the way, she's a matriarch. You know, I think they are going to change that.
Especially
for
since,
sure.
like, when they bring up, Matriarch Venezia, it's like, well, what does that mean? Because unless anyone's, you know, obviously, going back to it retroactively, they explain the matriarch thing a little better. But it's just like when they say Matriarch Venezia, it's like, okay, that's her title, I guess.
That's cool. That's a thing.
Is that a
And there's-
leadership thing? But it's like, no, it's a...
And there's-
leadership thing, but it's like, no, it's a... It's a thing. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Kind of talking a little bit with Mass
also,
Effect 2. The character models, like the little changes that they have done with them, like Thane, for example, with Mass Effect 2, he had normal kind of human fingernails, but with the remaster, his fingernails are now sharpened, and they actually look more reptilian and such like that.
Okay.
The gills or something around his neck are a lot more detailed and a lot more visible than they were. And
I love Thane.
it's just like,
I am looking forward muchly to seeing Thane rendered in all his glory, and Caden's abs
it's just like,
and chest and arms. Just it's a whole, and his butt, because that's a whole lovely man package right there.
I just love the tiny little detail. It was one of the trailers that had a quick snapshots of a bunch of the different characters, and if you actually pause and look at them, and you can just see the detail. It is exciting.
Yeah. Well, I remember the thing that stood out to me was Thane's eyes. Because like originally in Mass Effect 2, like Thane's eyes were same with Mass Effect 3. Thane's eyes are damn near just black. You know, like you can tell there's a little bit of
if you
detail.
look very closely in certain shots, you can kind of see that it's like there's a brown iris thing going on, but it's tough to tell.
But now they've changed it, and where like it's much more of there's much more brown to it. There's much more color. And like you can actually more see the iris and stuff like. Mwah.
The eyes I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the most is Samara's eyes. Samara had beautiful eyes even in ME2, so I can only imagine what they look like now.
Do you think they're going to finally have cutscenes when you talk to Zaid? Because they didn't have those when you talked to him in Mass Effect 1.
So.
Well, we have no more Robin Sachs to record lines, sadly. So,
but you don't think that
that
could
seems unlikely
change
to
the
me.
camera?
Unless they have enough that they could just splice some things together, but that still seems unlikely.
Because he doesn't have any cutscenes when you originally talked to him in Mass Effect 2. He's just kind of like when he's on the ship. And you talk to him there, it's just like a passive, the same way that it talks to one of some of your crewmates.
Yeah.
Way back when, I actually wrote a fan fiction of my Shepard actually kind of connecting with Zaid, because this old, sort of broken down guy was the only one she could feel actually connected with her on, with the whole dying thing. And they just sat and had a conversation.
Yeah, I don't know. I was never a big fan of Zaid. I just didn't. He's kind of one of those characters that, in my opinion, is similar to Phoebe and Sarah from Inquisition, where how they act how they act in any normal situation, you would fucking kick them to the curb and kick them out. Like, nah, man, I ain't okay with the shit that you do. Boot him out.
Who's Phoebe in Inquisition?
No. Sarah from Inquisition.
You said Phoebe.
Yeah, I said.
And I was just
I said Phoebe and Sarah from Inquisition.
Oh, okay.
Derp.
I still don't know which Phoebe you're talking about, but yeah. Sarah.
Yes.
I thought
Sarah
you said
the whole...
Peebee, but I also don't know Dragon Age. I was a little confused.
Right. Okay, I'm with you now.
Yeah.
I was
Phoebe,
just, I had question marks.
Yeah, Phoebe from Andromeda. Sorry, I should have.
Peebee.
I pronounce
Not
it Phoebe.
Then you are wrong, sir.
Yeah, I mean, you can choose to pronounce it that way, but if it's pronounced one way and you choose to pronounce it another, that's just wrong.
But no, well, I thought. Okay, well, the comment section can debate in below if it's Peebee or Phoebe. Anyway, but like, that's what Zaid always kind of felt like to me. Was like, especially as like, I feel like almost the first mission that you do for him kind of does him a disservice.
Nah,
Like,
I
does,
kind of disagree.
Like, it does good for his character. Like, it does great for his character. Like, it really shows you like what type of person he is. but but it's like, but you are damn, like, you are so insubordinate, it's not even funny. Like, what?
Yeah, but it's not really, by ME2, it's not a strictly military
No.
deal, is
I mean,
it? So
no, but if you're in a situation where, like, if you know you are going into a suicide mission, and you know and you have someone who is insubordinate and will not follow your orders, you don't take them on your suicide mission. Because you can't
But
trust
he doesn't
them.
have trouble following your orders. The only one he objects to is not going after the one guy he's specifically come to this one fucking planet to kill.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, no, we're going to save the people. And he's like, you've got to be kidding me. He still does it.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
I'm also looking forward to see my boy Morden.
Yeah.
Pellisseria B. Sally? Or I don't know how to... Seeker just put PB's...
Pellisseria
I'm very aware.
Basail,
I'm very
nicknamed
aware.
PB, is an Asari member of Rider's squad. PB,
in the chat.
not Phoebe. That's different.
But my boy Morden, I am so excited to see him. He's my
I'm
favorite squad
excited
mate.
for my boy Grunt.
Big baby.
My baby boy. I can't wait to see the detail on his little scales.
What if I
He's
just
like,
don't
oh,
let
my
Grunt
boy. Hello.
out of the tank?
What was that?
Because
Yep.
he could be like a collector's item. Like, you don't want to take it out of the boxing.
Jesus
And it
Christ.
ruins it.
God fucking.
He's the perfect Krogan. You're like, no, I want to put it on the
Yeah,
shelf.
and then if you take it out, it ruins the pot. Like,
Ruins the book.
devalues it.
Yeah, well, and then... Well, do you know what? Sometimes you gotta take it out of the box and let him... You gotta just let him develop his own value.
Let him be a baby boy.
And
I'm excited.
absolutely wreck people.
And let him worry about if Hanar can wear sweaters.
Oh, another thing too with the achievements. There's an achievement to gain the honor or something. I can't remember specifically what it's called, but to gain the trust of every single squad mate. And it pretty much just says, like, gain the trust of the Asari, gain the trust of Archangel, gain the trust, stuff like that. But for Grunt, it doesn't say anything of, like, gain the trust of the Krogan or anything. It says kill a Thresher Maw.
Fuck yeah!
Well, it's what you do.
Yeah.
I just love
It's
that
what your baby boy
his
wants.
is, like, all of the other ones are, yeah, just gain their loyalty or stuff like that. Like, it's just kind of blank about it. This one, it doesn't even say to gain their loyalty. I know that it's to kill the Thresher Maw. Although you don't have to kill it to gain his loyalty, right?
Yeah, I don't...
No, you just have. I
No.
think you just
You
have,
just have to
to
survive.
at last long
Yeah.
enough.
For
Though...
but
Yeah.
but if you just bring the nuke gun, you can just fire that at the Thresher Maw and it
Yeah.
gets rid of it.
I
The
loved looking at the lore entries for, or the codex entries, I should say, for the weapons in Mass Effect, because there's one like the Krogan shotgun.
Mhm.
I forget the exact name. It might just be the Krogan shotgun. Where it's like, oh, if a human were to use this, it would break their arm, and Shepard can use it no issue.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, Jesus, Shepard, how strong are you?
Shepard is part Krogan.
It's
Let's
like,
be
it feels
real.
like there isn't enough research, and then if you actually look into like the skin and the muscle and the bone augments you can get, it's like, I think, is Shepard human anymore, or are they more of a cyborg? Because I think this is a legit question.
So what you're saying is that Mass Effect could be within the same timeline as Cyberpunk.
I mean, literally the Star Child brings up, hey, you are, like, like, Shepard is more machine than, like, human at this point. Can you live without synthetics? I feel like that's a, like...
Fair description.
Yeah, like, that's... I don't even think that's a question. Like,
That's why I never entertain the destroy and not to bring up ending drama, but
think-
for me, I don't know. I'm not opposed to a good old synthesis ending.
Yeah.
Oh, I picked the
To be
destroy
honest.
ending.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck y'all.
yeah, I think we'll get to Mass Effect. Well, do we want to talk about what we're expecting or what we're excited about for Mass Effect 3 then?
I mean, that seemed to be the logical flow of the conversation.
I want my feels to be hurt and punched into the ground and leave me weeping and begging for more.
And the
Hurt
thing
me
is-
harder,
As
Mass
Mass Effect
Effect
usually
Daddy.
leaves me.
Hurt me
And
harder.
the thing is Mass Effect, the way that this trilogy is set up, that it is really more of how Mass Effect 3 is the ending of the entire story rather than just the ending of Mass Effect 3. That Mass Effect 3 as itself is an ending to the Mass Effect trilogy.
Yeah.
And I think that will come across much better in this than it will with the releases.
I would agree with you on that one.
Also with managed expectations for the ending as well.
As well as
I
just the
hope.
continuous gameplay. Like, just going right from Mass Effect 1 and stuff to Mass Effect 2, and then right from... I mean, the ending of Mass Effect 2, Arrival DLC, and the beginning of Mass Effect 3, aren't they...
They're a
pretty
few
close
months
to each other?
apart,
Yeah.
canonically.
I don't know how
Which
far...
is why it makes Jacob so fucking terrible.
How? What's the time
Okay.
difference in the first Mass Effect and then Mass Effect 2?
2 years. So between Mass Effect 1 is 2 years, from the Arrival DLC to Mass Effect 3 is 6 months.
Yeah. Because Shepard gets put
There's
into...
a little rumor, not 100% sure, but little rumor that the opening for Mass Effect 3 will be a bit more extended. It'll have a bit...
They said they wanted to. That, like, the original plan was to make it more of a thing.
okay.
I don't think that translates necessarily to, they've totally added...
That's why I was saying
that
it was a
back
little
into
rumor,
it.
but if that was something that they maybe wanted to do...
I
that
think
maybe
that's
it got...
not so much a rumor as wishful thinking.
So, one thing I am curious, though, are there things that are going to be in the Mass Effect trilogy in this remaster that they have not advertised yet and are keeping secret?
Probably.
I think that's likely, but I think, like I said in a few podcasts ago, given the current state of entertainment that we live in, I think if they're going to add any extra bits, it would probably take place in like a post-credit sequence. Probably... he could be doing anything from... is adding a little bit more tissue, like connective tissue to Mass Effect Andromeda, or
It's going to be a trailer for Mass Effect 4.
It's not going to be a trailer for Mass Effect 4.
Maybe not.
It might like imply some stuff in the direction of Mass Effect 4,
Absolutely.
but it won't be a full-on
Well, I mean, that's what
trailer.
I was mean. Like, when the Master Chief Collection came out, when you started Halo 2, and you specifically, if you were starting Halo 2 in the remastered setting, not in the classic setting, it would play a little, it wasn't a trailer or anything, but it was kind of a little story
cutscene
of Halo 5.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird because that story makes no sense in the actual context of Halo 5 now. But
Halo
I
5
can
doesn't make
very,
sense.
very much imagine that they might take out that well, I hope they don't take out the scene with Buzz Aldrin and stuff at the end of Mass Effect 3.
No, I don't think that's it's necessary to take it out. I just mean like way after the credits, they can do a little post-credit scene.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would do.
Well, I think
but,
they would do something with Liara.
I
'cause
want to
they've-
see some Krogan babies.
Well, I think
Give me some Krogan babies.
I think they would show Liara doing something because they've shown Liara in the teaser. So that's already been like a confirmed, quote unquote, confirmed character for the next one. So if there was like a 10-second little thing or just something like that at the end of it, if you beat it on insanity, like just one of those extra little.
I don't see the need to lock off it behind.
Well, that's what games used to do.
insanity. Considering that,
I mean,
you can get the full experience of Mass Effect playing on
Normal.
the easy or casual.
well, yeah, but I
difficulties.
mean, like, video games would have little extra cutscenes sometimes locked away if you beat the games on the hardest
but
difficulty.
also if you're teasing the future installment of the franchise,
if it's teasing, then maybe not. It wouldn't be locked off. But
I think
there were definitely multiple things that were.
Yeah, I think Halo has done that tradition before, where they've done it. I don't think BioWare.
Yeah, Halo 1 and Halo 3.
Well, yeah, I don't. Well, and Guardians. Halo 5 did it too.
Yeah.
And I think actually almost every Halo game.
Actually, yeah, Halo 5 was a tease.
Yeah, actually every Halo game has had a legendary ending. I don't think they're going to do that, because one, I don't think BioWare has ever done that before for any of their games, for one. And two, I think one of the biggest problems with that, and an issue, because like at this point, like Halo has to do it because it's tradition. The problem is, though, the second that game is, it comes out, any legendary ending comes.
is on
Yeah,
YouTube.
it's on
Oh yeah,
YouTube
but I don't think that's much of
hours.
Yeah, but I don't think that's really not much of an issue,
Well,
because that is like you can't stop
But
it.
also, like, BioWare crowd isn't necessarily. I'm just speaking from my experience. No one get it, nick it in a twist or anything, but aren't necessarily like I'm gonna play this on Insanity or whatever. I don't even know what the fucking hardcore
It's Insanity.
difficulty's called in Mass Effect, but probably N7, right?
Nah, it's Insanity.
On N7 difficulty or whatever, because the difficulty's there if you want it, but I don't see the point of locking off any content behind that, because I know it's a Halo tradition, but most BioWare has made a point that they want to be accessible and welcoming to new communities. And if you're a filthy casual player like me, because I like to experience stories rather than getting stuck on things or that kind of thing, it's just it's nice to not feel like I'm being punished for enjoying the game on the easy mode or story mode.
I can agree with you on that, but I don't think they're gonna do anything like that.
But it would definitely be a golden opportunity at the end of the credits or something for them to just do like a little extra 10-15 second little thing of, oh, hey, don't forget Mass Effect 4.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
Well, I said that when I brought up Persona 5 Royal, because when they brought out Persona 5 Royal, it's like, oh, here's Persona 5, but just with extra stuff on it. And by the end of playing through Royal, I was just like, I'm so upset right now. And I was sitting through the credits, and bear in mind the credits are great because there's great music playing over it. And I was like, what am I doing? Why am I just sit here waiting for an MCU-style post-credit sequence? And then there was a post-credit sequence. I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad I waited for that. Because they ended up revealing that a character that I thought was dead, who's also my favourite, was not in fact dead. And I was just like, oh, I'm now all emotional again. So if they end up doing anything in regards to like, oh, here's a teaser, or God forbid, a line, or Liara is doing something, or any more information than what we have, we're all hungry for it. Like, all you have to do is whisper Dragon Age, and suddenly a whole host of people's ears prick up and go like, Dragon Age, Dreadwolf, what's going on?
What if instead of it being like a little teaser at the end of the trilogy or whatnot, the developers say little things of, oh, hey, by the way, there's some little nuances or some, like, a random conversation that you may hear, something like that has been altered or tweaked around the area, like, just little conversations that you might pick up have been changed to fit more in line for the next Mass Effect game. That way it's like...
I don't think they'll announce that, because...
Oh, just like a little hidden Easter egg stuff.
I don't think they'll announce it. I think the community...
It may be one of those things that in hindsight we look back and go like, wait a minute.
Oh yeah, the community's gonna go, hold on, what the fuck is this? And then BioWare is just gonna smile and go, Nothing.
Although I do hope there's some mention or something of the arcs getting launched. That way it can kind of officially connect
Or
Andromeda.
just Alec Ryder showing
Yeah.
up the fuck out of nowhere. It'd be like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah.
You
I think I've
shouldn't
mentioned
be
this
here."
before, like having PB at meeting PB at a bar or something like that, just like seeing her in the background.
Meeting Vetra on Omega would be amazing.
Yeah, just something.
You would also do even like there's actually a scene from Mass Effect Initiation where Korra beats the shit out of a bunch of people in a bar. That would be great to watch. Or just like hearing like a bar fight get out and seeing Korra kick people's ass. That'd be interesting.
That might be a bit demanding for
Or just like
the engine that they use for Mass Effect.
True.
But
if they just have the character like
sure.
walking by or something.
oh yeah, or it
just in
might
the
be just
background.
something you hear like a news thing of like a bar fight broke out. Oh, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, human biotic woman. It's like,
Yeah.
I wonder who that could be.
Yeah.
Did you know I was trained by an Asari huntress?
Yeah.
So how do you think they're going to incorporate, or well, I've heard that they're going to incorporate the DLCs in a lot more native sort of way to the story, rather than if you were to launch Mass Effect 2 or Mass Effect 3 right now with the DLC, you'd kind of get all the missions right at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to be integrated better into the story.
Well, I think it's
Yeah, considering that once I first played the DLCs and got a feel of them, I structured my own game to be like, okay, this is where I'm going to do Arrival, this is where I'm going to do Lair of the Shadow Broker, that kind of thing, because I did this with Dragon Age 2 as well. I developed kind of like okay, I think this fits in well here, and that kind of thing. So I just ended up I did that so instinctively on my second time playing through it with the full DLC that I didn't even realize that I had structured myself that way. And I was like, but why would they have to do that? Because it's already that's just me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you could just, go do Leviathan from the jump.
Oh, I did Leviathan from the jump. That was the first thing I would do.
You can do Leviathan from the jump, but I think you're wrong to do so.
I feel like doing it right. I mean, I'm not, because they wouldn't. There's nothing else that would be changed.
Yeah. It changes the
wait-
end conversation that you have with the Star Child. That's really about it. Mm-hmm. And also,
but maybe they've changed. I mean,
You also
we don't
get
know
a-
how much they've tweaked
yeah,
with this.
that's one thing I'm actually really probably most excited about for Mass Effect 3 is seeing how they change the war assets. And I think they said it's harder to get to get all the endings now. I think they said it's
I think it's
harder?
that they said that there's no longer like the multiplayer
Yeah.
aspect of it where it no longer depletes.
It takes Mass Effect
Which, thank
1 and 2
fuck.
more into account with the war assets.
Yeah, so it basically, if you fucked up the previous two and killed everyone, it's very,
more
very
impactful.
hard to get
Yeah.
full readiness. Like, near impossible, they said. But yeah.
So it'll be fun.
But yeah, that's par for the course. The whole point of Mass Effect
So-
is the whole, we're stronger together than we are apart.
Do y'all think that after or do you think that when you play through Mass Effect 2, the suicide mission, do you think you're going to have anyone die in it?
No.
no.
Yeah.
Because
I know.
what's better than surviving a suicide mission with no casualties?
Oh no, absolutely. It's just like after the first time that I had played it, and it's like I learned how to keep everyone alive. I haven't made a mistake to have anyone die since then, so I didn't know if...
Yeah. I don't think they've said anything about changing the difficulty on the suicide mission. I remember...
No, not the suicide
Yeah.
mission.
I remember I've had...
I would say, do you guys have a favorite Paragon and Renegade interrupt in the series?
I like the one where he like zaps the guy
Stabbing.
when you're getting
Wow,
Archangel.
okay.
Stabbing fucking Kai Lang. Like the little bitch
that
he
was
is.
for Thane, you son of a bitch. Is one of the most satisfying things. Because I don't know what it is. Like, because bear in mind it's Troy Baker, and I love Troy Baker. I love me some Troy Baker. But the second Kai Lang shows up on the screen, like, I start frothing at the mouth, just, like, hurling abuse at him. Like, I hate him, I hate him, I hate him, die, 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 die. So when you do get to finally have that stab moment with him, it's near orgasmic levels of just satisfying. As far as Paragon interrupt, it's a two-way tie between stabbing the hug button for, well, I suppose there's two hug buttons with Atali and Liara, and there's pistol whipping Gavin Archer and tell him that there's a bullet for him if he ever goes near his brother again. Because Overlord is sad, you guys.
I actually think, I actually do have an answer for the favorite Paragon interrupt. It's actually if you play an engineer in the Omega DLC.
Yeah.
Where you can just, like, when the general is just like, you can't win this, and then you go, fuck you, I went to school in engineering, bitch! And you just do that. That was actually the one reason why I did an engineering playthrough, was solely to get to that one point and just go, I'm an engineer, bitch. Boop. And just,
yeah. No, I mean having specific little things depending on what class you are, that's kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love those details, because I think that was something that was influenced a bit by Dragon Age, because Dragon Age was at that point starting to have more specific actions if you were a rogue, warrior, or mage, and it's great. It makes it feel more unique and special to you, which is great.
Oh yeah, because
not everyone will have that, but when you do encounter that moment, suddenly it's like, oh, yes, I can do that. I can do that.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm wondering if there's any. I remember there's like biotic specific dialogue, and there are, I think, soldier-specific dialogues. But I don't think there's...
Speaking of specific dialogue, depending on what class you are, that whole scene where Liara asks you how you'd like to be remembered, I don't know, it makes me cry every time. I don't know why. Just because maybe it's just because it's the old friend aspect to it. Maybe because it's just so.
Liara was my romance person, so I was like.
I know. I've done that scene, romanced and unromanced. First time round, it was unromanced, but I still felt that friendship and that closeness with her. That I was just like, yeah, this is just very nice, and especially her last line. Well, I did just write your name in the stars. It's like. Liara, I'm gonna cry. Stop it. Go away. Go away now. And this is another reason on the flip side of it why I adore the Citadel DLC as a whole, because for a game that is just so laser targeted, pointing at your feels at all times, and just like crushing you, is like, war is hell. War is fucking hell. And War Against the Reapers is even more hell. And just to have a game that's, hijinks and heists and silliness and clones and, Shepard getting pissed because the clone threw out her hamster and her fish, and it's so refreshing on the flip side of the catharsis spectrum. And if you romance Jacob, you can punch him in the face.
Which
is that new in the legendary?
No. That was a thing they added originally for Citadel. But basically, there was definitely a feeling among the community that he had not gotten enough comeuppance of just being like, dude, really? And that was about the extent of Shepard's reaction. So yeah, punching him full on in the face was definitely warranted. Like I don't know how else to describe someone who's like, oh, we're together, and then you get put on house arrest
For 6 months.
for 6 months, and then he says like, oh yeah, I was chilling out on a beach somewhere, but how long was I meant to wait, seriously? And then he knocks someone else up pretty much immediately. It's like,
Yeah.
well, you got over that pretty fucking quick,
Yeah,
didn't you?
Jacob was... Of all the characters they done goofed on, Jacob was one of probably BioWare's biggest goofs.
Ever, yeah. Because
They dumb fucked up on
especially
him.
the reveal that Jacob was supposed to be like a male-only romance. So it's like, So you went from bland to when he was going to be a male-only romance to when you decided you weren't going to have a male-only romance, and in fact exclusively a female romance. And then he was going to play into insanely racist stereotypes on top of that.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're changing any romances or anything like that
Yeah.
in the Legendary Edition.
No, I don't think they are.
Like Jack.
I think if they changed anything, I love Jack. I would love nothing more than to romance Jack with Femshep, because she is bisexual. She's,
Oh my god. Yeah.
She says like, oh, I was in relationships with men and women, but no, apparently the only way she can have a happy ending is settling down with a guy.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Oh, well.
There's also
Oh, well.
photo mode coming in the Legendary
Oh,
Edition, which
God.
that is a new addition to the Mass Effect series,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be
Yes.
super fun.
Which I know for a fact there are so many people in the YouTube side of things that are going to be so grateful
Sarah
for
and Choke
that,
Me Daddy.
who aren't going to have to get all the mods just so then they can record gameplay and stuff like that.
Oh, I mean, like, some of the most fun I've had with Cyberpunk was its photo mode. And I would go around and I'd try to do certain things just to try to get a photo of it and try to figure that out. And that was some of the most fun I've had with that game. I am so excited with the photo
At
mode.
risk of being controversial, and since Tucker brought it up, I actually like Cyberpunk. Yes, it's buggy
Yeah,
and
I've
pretty
enjoyed it.
much broken as shit, but once they do get around to fixing it, and they definitely shouldn't have fucking shipped it in the state it was in,
they dumb fucked up on that
and
one.
certainly not lied about it. But yeah, as far as like the game and the story and stuff, I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've enjoyed that game. Okay, but I've also just play it my own way and just
Yes.
like if you
I think,
if you play it your own way, you make fun out of anything.
I haven't played it, but that's because I've had other... I don't know what... Almost the best way I can describe it to the lead-up of Cyberpunk was my BioWare senses were tingling. As in,
Yes.
like, wait a minute. There's a lot of hype for this game.
This is
It's being
yeah.
held up on a pedestal. Hold on. I've been here.
It's only down from here.
Hold on. I've been here before looking at, Andromeda and Anthem. Though they had a hell lot more skepticism going in than people give credit for. But
Oh yeah.
it's just my BioWare senses were tingling like, no, something's fishy going on. And it's just, and I never got to play it. Anywho,
I mean, that's fair.
yeah.
It's a game that can absolutely be backburned right now because there's a lot of stuff. The game is still lacking a lot of basic things, like the fact that you, in a world all about customization and all that type of stuff, you can't
There's like
really
no
customize the way
there's
your
very
character
little.
looks.
Yeah.
Like you can't change your hair or anything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
But we do have that game does have female British Inquisitor, so
That's
yay.
true. That is true. Yeah, back onto for Mass Effect though. At least with the photo mode, God, that's gonna make my life so much easier if I ever want to record gameplay for videos and stuff like that. It's gonna make my life so much easier now that I don't have to download every goddamn mod to make it
I'm
work.
just going to be filling my Twitter feed of me freezing and putting on photo mode during the bit where Seren just picks you up by your throat, just going, choke me, daddy!
Harder,
Shepard,
daddy!
like giving the thumbs up or something. That's going to be hilarious. Just anything inappropriate or like super serious, I'm going to find a way to just make it completely ridiculous.
The one thing I hope they do, and I know they did this in Breath of the Wild and God of War, and I don't know of any other photo modes that have done this, and they may have done this in Cyberpunk, I don't know. So one of the things you can do in photo mode is, like, change the avatar's position.
Oh yeah, they did that for us for Cyberpunk.
Okay, so I didn't know if they did that or not.
Yeah, they did.
I hope they do that, because I would love to see,
They
like...
probably will.
Like Garrus doing, like, a kawaii position or something like that. Or just weird shenanigans like that. I would love to see that.
I am excited to see what the community
yeah.
comes up with with this tool.
Yeah.
I know one thing, though, that I'm going to be doing with photo mode is that one of the worlds in Mass Effect 1, if you look out in the distance, it seriously looks like Mordor. Like... It literally looks like they took a picture from, like, the Lord of the Rings, almost coming from, like, Minas Tirith, and just, I looked and I was like, oh my god, they literally just copied Mordor, and I want to find that planet again and be like, we must go destroy the One Ring! Whoa, shit.
Bringing up Mordor for a second, are there going to be any more Shadow of Mordor /4 games, or no?
I don't think so.
Because I ended up having more fun with that than I thought I was going to, and considering now Warner Brothers have patented the whole Nemesis system, which is total bullshit because it basically means no one else can use it, and...
It limits the way that mechanic
there is
can
a
expand.
rumor that is it Gotham Knights that's coming up?
Mm-hmm.
That there's a rumor that that's going to have a version of the Nemesis system in it, although that is currently unconfirmed.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, no, I know how Shadow of Mordor 2 ends. It's they would have to pretty much do a spin-off series. Completely cut.
Well, we're getting Gollum, aren't we? So maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know enough details about Gollum.
There is a
Simulator.
trailer for that.
It had better be Liam O'Brien, though, if they can't get Andy Serkis again. Andy Serkis is busy. But Liam O'Brien was who they got for Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor. And it was so funny watching my partner do it because I knew for a fact it wasn't Andy Serkis. And as soon as Gollum turned up and started speaking, he said, "Oh, I'm so glad they got Andy Serkis back." And I just laughed. I was like, "No, it isn't."
Yeah, it means he did a good impression.
Oh yeah, he's insanely talented, and also a massive Lord of the Rings nerd who was determined to get it right no matter the cost.
That makes sense.
So I remember he told the story that he was on a Zoom call with like Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham and started like climbing all over the furniture pretending to be Gollum. Like, oh, I love this man. He's great.
Jesus. Yep.
I wonder, like, so we're getting the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. There's been other remasters like the Command and Conquer remaster, the Need for Speed remaster, and so on with other EA projects. I want Dead Space remastered, either the first Dead Space or like the trilogy of it.
I want
either
Dragon
or,
Age
but I
before
want
Dead Space. I want Dead Space is great. What's
Does
oh
Dead
God,
Space
what's the
need a
new,
remaster though?
Yes.
Like
Dead
Yeah,
Space
sure, why
is
not?
in the same kind of spot as Mass Effect, as like the Dead Space 3 kind of killed the entire prospect of the series.
Oh, okay.
What's the name of the guy who was the director on Dead Space, who's now making a thing that got advertised, I think it was last year, where it's like a looks like another pseudo haunted house in space, where it's like these mutated creature things. I was like, wow, this looks like Dead Space. And then the guy who directed Dead Space walked on stage and was like, well, my instincts were on point.
Yeah, Callisto Protocol.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one.
And also, that game takes place in the PUBG universe.
What?
Yeah.
Because why
What?
not?
I don't know why. If you look at like the official trailers and everything of it, in the description of this horror game that looks, and from my understanding, is supposed to kind of play like Dead Space or just kind of be like that, it says that this takes place 200 years in the PUBG universe. I think it has no other real connection besides that.
Is EA just getting desperate at this point?
I think they're just having some fun
PUBG is
there.
Hopefully.
Either that, or
It
we're
could
getting
just
some
be like there's a
cinematic
PUBG
universe.
Easter egg in it, and then the suits came down and insisted they had to make it in canon or something.
Some
I
cinematic
can't even
universe
wrap
is
my brain
going
around
on.
that one.
Yeah, because of course they probably looked at Apex and went, oh, well, Apex can do it, so can we.
I haven't gotten Pokemon Snap yet, but I want it. It makes me feel nostalgic and happy, and in a time where I could go outside without having to worry about things.
Yeah, fair
Did a
enough.
remaster for Pokemon Snap come out?
No, Pokemon Snap's a new
Yes.
game come out. There is a new remaster. It's
Yeah, there was a remaster. It's a Nintendo 64 game. That was what it was originally.
Yeah.
That's why they just remastered it and put it
Oh,
on
so it
Switch.
is a...
I
okay,
thi-
I thought it was a whole new separate game altogether. Like,
No,
because I knew of the
it's-
N64.
Well, put it this way: it's basically a pseudo sequel because obviously it's in a different place with the new Pokemon added. So I'm not sure how much of a continuity it is. I don't remember the first one that well. In terms of the story, I was mostly concerned with taking pictures of Pokemon, but that's what I remember. But yeah, it seems to have a little bit more of a story, and it just looks nice. And the thing that set me off was there were these pictures of these very nonplussed looking, very unimpressed looking Bulbasaur, and I was like, "Yep, that unimpressed Bulbasaur is very much a mood."
Yeah, fair enough there.
Mm-hmm.
Have there been any other kind of games and stuff that y'all been playing this week?
I have been enjoying the fuck out of Crusader Kings 3, which I've
I've
only
been
just been
seeing
able
you
to play.
on that a decent bit.
Put it this way, the last sort of playthrough I got stuck into was I'm not sure exactly where in Africa it is on the current map, but I was in like 1066, and I conquered most of Africa as an African woman, I should say, with my army of descendants and my 3 consorts, my husband, and my female lover on the side. And I was like, this is great. I then reformed a religion promoting sort of keeping peace with nature and equality. And I was just like, this is nice. This is a nicer version of history. And I'm currently doing from like a sort of Mongolian conquering sort of westward with a leader of the Mongols, which is great. It's so much fun to run ramshot through history. Also in that African playthrough, I kidnapped the Pope for no other reason than I could. Yep.
But I've been actually playing a game called Empire of Sin, which is made by the same company. It's both made by Paradox. But Empire of Sin
Paradox is great.
is 1940s Chicago, I think, and it's
And the soundtrack's great too.
It's
Because I have Empire of Sin. I have it on Switch.
yeah, it's on Game Pass, on Xbox and stuff, and I played some of that. I also streamed that, which was pretty fun.
I think we need to have some sort of bell noise for when Tucker mentions Game Pass. And just to keep it fair, I think we should also have a bell noise for when I bring up Persona.
You know, if someone were to make a drinking game out of that, they would die of alcohol poisoning.
I'm sorry. I just want people to like and appreciate it.
And
no
I'm
one
just
does.
kind of presenting a
Well, no
good
one- no
financial
one
option
around
for
me.
gamers.
Hashtag, please sponsor us, Game Pass.
Yeah, no, that'd be actually kind of really cool.
Oh yeah, I'll take some of that sweet Bill Gates money.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, like what Melinda's doing apparently.
Hey,
Which that's some interesting Seattle news, but also, yeah.
I think the only game I've really been playing has been Breath of the Wild. I'm still on my playthrough of that, slowly but surely. So, yeah, it's been my...
Well, here's the thing: if you're enjoying it, then by all means.
I'm one of the...
It was funny because Tucker brought up that he finished Red Dead Redemption 2,
Yeah.
and just like I think it was a few weeks before you started playing it again. I fell into a rabbit hole of like, here's a load of crazy details in Red Dead Redemption 2 that you missed or something like that. And there was so many, and I got so like longing to just run around with my horse in the great open plains, as it were.
It's a good
that
game.
I ended up falling back into a Red Dead Redemption 2 playthrough, and it's rough. In terms of just the, especially. Red Dead Redemption 2 benefits very much from if you start and then you play nothing else and just commit to that game and stay in sort of the headspace of it. It's one of the most rewarding experiences you can get, because between like the little details of like, did you, for instance, did you pick up Reverend Swanson's Bible when it's in camp?
Probably.
Did you see what was inside it?
No.
It's not actually a Bible. It's a setup for it's a needle and a syringe.
Ooh.
And it's like I said, just little details like that. There's things like you can find notes where Dutch has written out some of his speeches, the ones that he seems to spontaneously give in camp during a crisis, and you're like, okay, at least he can spin that, and then you can find his notes of him writing down the whole thing.
Yeah, like I there are times where I look on the subreddit and they will be like, how do I get Dutch's certain
Like
mission?
pipe or
Yeah, like his
something?
pipe
Yeah.
mission or something. It's like you have to trigger certain conversations by doing certain. It's like, wow, I had like, that is just nuts.
The polish in that game
A lot of
is
people give like Abigail shit, and I have no idea why. She's great, especially like in comparison to. Let's be quite frank. They Rockstar have improved writing women, which is great. Which unfortunately means that Abigail in Red Dead Redemption 1, she comes across as kind of shrewish. Especially since, like, you have no context for who Abigail is as a person outside of she's John's wife. So when she shows up, when you meet her, and it's like, hooray, I rescued you, and she immediately starts giving you shit for it, it's like, oh, great, whatever. But when you go in with the full context of who Abigail is, and she's a lot more... like, she's very tough, she's very resilient, but she is a lot more vulnerable than she likes
to admit.
to let on that she is, especially when Jack is involved.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a real punch in the gut to see Jack being such a sweet kid, knowing that his future isn't, unfortunately, as bright as we would hope him to be at this age. Especially since I have a little one that around the same age that Jack is in the game.
I understand why the epilogue kind of follows John a bit, but I kind of wish it followed Sadie.
I
That would have been
love
awesome.
Sadie. Sadie is one of the best characters in the goddamn game. Also, if you are a fan of RDR2, I highly recommend going and listening to either Roger Clark, who played Arthur, or Benjamin Byron Davis, who played Dutch, just talk about like some of the behind the scenes stuff, because it's so entertaining to just listen to these guys talk about just especially Roger Clark telling the story of how he had to re-record some of the lines spoken to his horse because they sounded too intimate. He's like, what do you mean? And then they had to listen to it back, and it was stuff like, you're all right, girl. Easy, girl. And it's like, ooh, okay. Sounds good.
I'm being
Arthur's got a very
censored.
special relationship with that horse.
There's
Yeah.
a rumor that
And-
he's going to be the voice of the Thing in
Or
MCU.
like, yeah. I'm all for that.
But the only excuse I will give for the epilogue not following Sadie is that Red Dead Redemption 3 is going to follow her.
Here's the thing.
That's
it's
going to
funny
come out
you
in
brought
like
up Empire of Sin earlier.
2035.
Yeah. No, Red Dead,
It's funny you brought up
GTA 6
Empire of
first.
Sin earlier, because I'm convinced that Red Dead Redemption 3 is actually going to take place in Prohibition era.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what it's going to end up doing. And I looked into it a little bit because I was thinking, wouldn't it be great if you were following maybe like Charles's daughter or something? I was like, did they have like lady bootleggers? And not only did they have women bootleggers, it was insane because a lot of cities had like strict laws that said that the police couldn't search women. So women would stand across the street from cops, wave their booze at them, and when they would come over, they would then hide them in their pockets and say, "Well, we don't have booze." They were so blatant about it, and some of like the queens of bootlegging were not just women, but women of color who managed to get obscene amounts of money and off the back of bootlegging. And yes, it's a criminal enterprise, and that tends to foster very shady individuals. However, it was a time of prohibition and the Great Depression, so more power to him, I say.
I just think it'd be kind of fun because like Sadie, if it followed Sadie during the beginning of Prohibition and all that kind of stuff, if she started up her own little gang or thing like that.
Oh yeah. That would be
I especially love Arthur's line to her, is like, we're more ghosts than people. It says a lot about how he feels, especially like, as a dead man walking at that point. It says a lot.
Yeah.
And I love that his relationship with Sadie just isn't romantic in any way, shape, or form. Like, some people like to ship them, and that's fine. I don't mean to... But if you look at the way they interact with each other, it's pretty much just respect and friendship, and I love that. There was apparently supposed to be a bit more made of the fact that part of Arthur's resentment of John was that he was kind of crushing on Abigail, and Abigail was crushing on him as well. Which apparently they cut, but apparently there's still some flavouring of that in there, in terms of them being affectionate with each other, and clearly like having a lot of trust and a bond. I remember when they announced Red Dead Redemption 2, and I was thinking, because there was a rumour that was what was going to be announced beforehand. I remember being very excited that, maybe this time we could play as a Native American person, or a woman, or a black person. Wouldn't that be great? And then they show off Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's like, wow, another white guy. Great.
So original.
Turns out I
little
love
did they
Arthur
know
Morgan
they
even
created one of the
more
best
than
characters
John
in gaming.
Marston. And I remember at the time I said, look, they couldn't even give him a different fucking hat. But then, of course, I get to the end of Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's like, oh no, it's not just a similar hat. It is the same hat. It is the hat that Arthur then puts on John, and I'm like, now I have feels about a fucking hat. Yeah, that whole...
It is a great
especially
game.
the redemption side of it is so great.
It is a great game. But that
okay,
is about all that we have, though, for this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think next week we'll definitely...
If you want us to talk more about Red Dead, I'm happy to.
I think next week we'll definitely have to talk about our actual final reactions of playing the...
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, our
sure.
feelings of that, if I... Like, how long did I go before I passed out with streaming?
Is this
We'll have
something...
to have, like, a timer.
Am I going to have to
like
watch your
8
stream just to make sure that you don't, like...
Yes.
Pass out?
I want everyone to come and join and watch the stream, because I'm going to have fun with this, and I'm planning to sit here and marathon it for as long as I can, so it'd be really fun to have people, like, pop in every once in a while to be like, hey, what's up? Check it in.
I mean, that's fair.
You should see if you can have, like, an on-screen timer for how long you've been going.
Yeah, I think so. I think could figure out how to put one up.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, I think that's enough from us this week, don't you say?
Yep, we have a Discord if you want to keep this conversation going. The link to that is in the description down below. We have a bunch of people. We've been getting a bunch of new members every single day. And it is ever growing. Come join in on the conversation.
If you also want to be a part of a giveaway to get the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, also go down in the description. We'll have that for you guys as well.
We actually have 150 people now in the Discord chat.
Ooh, nice.
Shut the
See, that's
fuck
one of
up.
those numbers that people really like.
Yeah, 150. Yeah. All right.
Well,
We also have Twitter.
It's a shame we can't stay at 69 because that would be nice. But
Well, now,
yeah.
now we need to wait for, then it'll be
420.
420, and then
Yeah.
42069.
and then it can, no more than 420. Anyone over 420 has to leave.
After 420. Nope, we're just cutting it off there.
No, we maintain this number. Anyone else gets booted.
God fucking damn it.
We also have a Twitter
Yeah.
where we talk.
We do also have
on there.
Twitters. They're all in the doobly doo.
All that, but all those links are in the description down below. If you enjoyed this, please like the video, subscribe, do all that kind of fun stuff, and we will see y'all next week.
All right.
Bye guys.
See you next time, you nerds.
Nerds.
Mass Effect is a...
Massive Fox. Oh, yep, that's
No,
yep. Massive Fox.
That's